What is up, my friends? Happy Monday. I know Mondays. I don't make the rules, but I am here to make your Monday a little bit better. And in that vein, we have got the Star League, some Rocket League coming at you about halfway through the season here in week 6. My name is Jeff. I'm here alongside Pib to bring you all the action. We've got 3 great matches today.
Yeah, we really do. I'm really excited to get into these matches today. Starting off with a banger, going into the very first game, 2 undefeated teams at 5-0 facing off against each other. Rochester IT versus Robert Morris University, trying to get back to positive records for the 2 teams, but trying to stay with their positive records are RIT and Robert Morris University, trying to stay undefeated going to this matchup. We have Sunblaze, Jakob, Sebward versus Reprobation, Skippy, and Ethan for RMU. This will be a very, very fun matchup to watch. Obviously, 2 undefeated teams. Someone's got to lose today.
Yeah, and I mean, they may look the same on paper at this point, but Robert Morris have their work cut out for them. Sunblaze, Jakob, and Sebward have been on an absolute tear the past couple months, and everything I've seen him in, including CRL, and they have not only gone 5-0, but they have not dropped a single game. All
Yep.
3 O's for those 5 wins. Robert Morris, on the other hand, they've had to fight 2 of their wins to a game number 5. They've been a little bit more sweaty, not quite as clean. So on paper, I think I'm giving RIT the edge on this match.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And obviously, there's 2 completely different stories for undefeated teams, depending
Sure.
on strength of schedule and all that kind of stuff. That usually happens in every collegiate esport and sport alike, is you have to see what that undefeated really looks like. So I think this will be a true test for both teams to really see exactly, of course, being undefeated through 5 games is an impressive record, but what are they going to look like against another undefeated team that is really going to put the pressure up against them? So I think that'll be very fun to watch in this matchup. And obviously, to start the day, it's a great way to start your Monday. You said, as we get to the worst day of the week for a lot of people, this is a great way to start the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And hey, the rest of the day hasn't been all that great. Then you can go into the, kind of hit the reset button here with some Rocket League and enjoy the rest of the week. RIT coming out in blue, which kind of threw my brain for a bit of a twist there for a moment, but that is okay. Well, they're on the defense early, started off the kickoff good, but have been on the back foot ever since. There it is. Okay, now we've got our name swapped. The world is right again, and there it is. RIT with the goal. My brain makes sense. This game makes sense, and an early lead for RIT.
Yeah, to be expected. You were talking about the amount of aggression and pressure that RIT already had started in this game. The ball didn't really leave the side of the field for Robert Morris University, and it leads straight to the first goal, second shot of the game, and only 30 seconds in. So RIT starting off hot so far, immediately facing some pressure off the next kickoff, but seems to be cleared by Jakub here. And now we're just going to see that counterattack from RIT, which I feel like will be a majority of the presence this game so far. Like you had mentioned, on an undefeated streak without dropping a game is even more impressive than, being undefeated already.
Yeah, they're certainly the favorites in this game. This series will determine who takes number 1 away in this conference after today. Of course, that number 1 seed will get a bye once we get into playoffs. So don't have to worry about any kind of plans. Guaranteed make it into the postseason. So a big statement game, big important game for both of these squads. An opportunity for Robert Morris to really show us their mettle, what they've got. As they're screaming back in here, nice little 1-2 pass in the air. Rep can't quite get it on target. Almost snuck one in the corner. Ethan's got to retreat back for some boost now, but Robert Morris keeping the pressure on. Jakob's going to steal it away in the air and get it back into the blue half.
Those are the kind of chances you desperately need if you're Robert Morris here. Good fake out of Sunblaze. Fakes one defender and almost gets another chance on net, but Jakub gets stopped by Skippy. But these chances from Robert Morris University, if they're not going to come quickly, they need to come good. And this time it goes straight to the other side for RIT.
Yeah, Sebward read that one like a book. Had that one down and was just hoping that was going to happen. Sunblaze gets a chunk of it, and Sebward is right there to capitalize. I mean, just split-second decision-making. Great goal coming out RIT.
With almost 2 minutes done in this game, RIT with the lead so far. RMU could have answered back, and they need to answer back soon in order to make sure that RIT doesn't have that way to just stomp out the game. And as I talk about it, RMU are able to put one back just 10 seconds off kickoff. And it's now 1-2. So Robert Morris University not giving up at any point. Obviously, 3 minutes still plenty of time to play in this game. And they're going to try and take a game off of RIT, be the first team to do so this whole season.
And the Colonials wasted no time getting back in this thing. It's exactly what they needed. Don't let the momentum get too far ahead of them and put a stop to that. And just like that, they are right back in this thing. They're going up with another good shot. Oh, good look. Denied by Sebward, but not able to find the clear. Skippy's maintaining a bit of presence here on the offense for Robert Morris. Eventually, they're going to run out of boost, run out of steam before the defensive RIT does, and RIT is looking to take it back the other way.
Yeah, Jakob is connecting with his teammate in midfield. They still have a lot of pressure. Sunblaze is turned around, though, and the ball gets sent the other way. So, putting a bit of pressure on both sides there, RT could have had a great chance and an even better challenge coming out from Ethan right there. Does get a chance on the net, but simply just stop at the goal line. As they now push their way back, and a backwards hit doesn't lead to anything dangerous for RMU, but now you're starting to see from both teams warming up a bit. We're starting to see a lot more pressure on both offensive fronts.
Yeah, Robert Morris have really come alive over the past 90 seconds. RIT with 2 early goals, but haven't been able to put one up since. Kind of feeling like they need to get one in here to seal this. But right now, they got to play defense. Skippy going up in the sky, almost found that top left corner. It is denied in a quick transition into the other side as RIT looks to make something happen, but they can't overcommit to it as immediately the ball is back in front of their neck. Both these teams playing at a very high tempo right now as Rep is going to get the center in. Ethan takes the shot, stuffed at the near post. Ball nicely handled, bounces all the way back down the other side. No rebound available.
And Rep has plenty of time to work with that. Gets a nice challenge from Sunblaze. The ball is still centered, but missed actually from Jakob. And now see just a little bit of back and forth. Sebward finds a nice shot, but Skippy with an even better save. And RIT are still trying to make that team play work. And that'll probably be that breaking point in this series for either one of these teams once it can start connecting on all cylinders like you see the team play start now. Skippy getting almost a fake with the flip reset off of it, but a shot from Rep comes flying by. And now RMU are putting a bunch of pressure on RIT.
Yeah, they've looked really good here in the past 30 seconds. Great defense. Love the setup plays, forcing RIT to make difficult defenses and then try to take rebounds on the back of it. Here comes Jakob in the air. Another big save as the Robert Morris University defense stands tall once again. 40 seconds remaining, and Sebward's going to put it in the center. Jakob takes the shot and just narrowly squeaks that one by the top post.
Just a great combination of efforts here from Sebward, and then Jakob on the shot gets it top right off the crossbar and in for RIT's very important +2 goal now. I think that's probably one of the most important goals of this game. Keeping that +2 goal lead gives you the chance to not lose it with zeros on the clock, essentially, since we've seen that plenty of times in Rocket League. famously for this is Rocket League. Those 0-second goals leading into overtime can be quite scary. So having that 2-goal lead for RIT, keep them at comfort for game number 1, but still plenty of game to go and still plenty of the series to go as well, as we're in game number 1 of this best-of-5 set. With 10 seconds left on the clock, RMU either does something now or they give game 1 over to RIT, and RIT keeps their undefeated streak up so far.
Yeah, but that's going to be another one. And comfort was the key word there. I think it was an important point to touch on, because then RIT can kind of relax a bit, just play their game, and the mental will be strong going into the next one. Even get a little insurance, a little extra motivation coming out of Sunblaze.
Rep with the double tap on his own goal.
Yep.
Impressive.
Impressive.
That is going to end game 1, of course. Will the extra goal doesn't really matter too much. They were losing anyways, and at zeros, Rep just wanted to make sure he can prove points. He still got it. So we see a great example of offense, though, from both sides. You can see, on RMU's team, 11 shots to 7. So even though they only scored 1, you can see just how much pressure they were putting on to RIT that game. And that's something we're going to have to see repeated throughout this entire series. They're going to have to keep that up this entire time. So we'll see if they have the ability to do that, because obviously it gets frustrating getting that many shots and not being able to convert on a lot of your chances. They just need to find that way to transition those shots into better shots on goal and be able to convert those.
They were accurate too. They were challenging the defense. It's they weren't just cheap throwaway shots. They were doing a good job of trying to open the defense up, but just couldn't quite find enough to pry RIT's defense wide enough to at least get the ball through.
That's already.
I like what they were doing. Oh, jeez. Jakob just doesn't leave the zone. Look at this aggression, 1v2. I guess it was a 2v3. You get the initial touch in and Jakob at the finish.
Yeah, just the constant pressure is something very difficult to deal with. Always being in their faces, always going for challenges, something like everyone should strive to do. Even if you have 0 boost, just trying to go for challenges if you can to help your teammates out even a little bit, help them get boost or help them recover back to their rotations. It's really important in Rocket League to be able to get those challenges all the time. We see a miss coming out from RMU, so somebody's just going to keep going with this one. 0 boost for him. Skippy should just be able to carry that one out of their side of the net, but still danger here for RMU as the ball is not left yet.
No, it's certainly not. Fighting for the corner. RIT's getting the pressure on. There's another great touch from Sebward. Demo in the back, and this thing's wide open. 3 players from RIT right in front of the goal, all set up by a beautiful Demo.
It's just as simple as that, really. No one else from RMU in the proximity. Rep getting there a little bit late. Skippy towards midfield, it looked like. Ethan just, I mean, it was a legitimate 3v1. Could not get out of that situation much easier than just getting demoed and moving on. So that gives RIT their second goal in game 2, and now leads just a minute in with a very good chance to close this game out. They play that strong defense like we just saw. While they did give a lot of chances to RMU last game, like we mentioned, a 1 goal on 11 shots is still a very bad conversion technically on the offensive side. So as long as they can keep that defense up, keep the saves coming, and RIT will look to close out this game. And the RMU now need to find the creativity to start scoring their goals a little bit here to get back.
Now they just get into the zone, hold on to it a little bit. Trying to put that one off the backboard, but Jakob's got it covered. Just going to fly away with it into the blue half. Rupp comes in with a nice steal, able to challenge. It's a 2v1 going towards RIT. Sebward with a beautiful read, though. Able to send it out, buy a lot of time for the team. Even gets the quick conversion down to Jakob, who scores yet another goal.
Yeah, the problem here is RMU all committed on offense. Skippy had to try and go for a touch midfield to at least slow the pressure down so that RIT didn't have an immediate counterattack off that great save from RIT, and they just immediately found the pressure and were able to get a shot on net, and there was not much RMU could have done considering they did overcommit on offense because, you know, at this point they kind of need to. They need to try and get these goals back against RIT. Now being down 3-0 especially, they need to now find an aggressive way to get early challenges and be able to stop the presence RIT has had so far. And they're leading to another one, but just a little bit wide off the pass. We'll see if this turns into a counterattack for RMU, but right now RIT is still just playing a very conservative, very smart defense.
Oh, Reb with a goal opportunity. No. Oh, the follow-up gets sent aside.
Oh,
oh my goodness. Yeah, Jakob missed one there as well. Oh, my heart's still breaking for Robert Morris on that previous attempt. That chance looked perfect. I thought they had one, but no, somehow RIT just built up an absolute wall in front of the net, and they're not giving up anything right now. The 1-2 passes in the corner, maintaining possession. Rep with the steal, trying to come across, but Sebward is all over it. And a big boot back to midfield.
Yeah, and this is rough for RMU. They're not really getting any time to create anything. It's just the pressure from RIT that's constantly been in their battle. And obviously an easy save here. Jakob just able to get that one straight out. Sunblaze is going to help push this downfield a little bit. Little combination of efforts back to Jakob and maybe a double touch, but saved off the backboard from Rep. Gets that one potentially out of danger. This should just be an open shot, almost going a little bit too wide, but able to get that one off the post and in. Now we see RMU back within 2.
And there's still time left for them to get back into this thing. Don't want to... If you're an RIT fan, you don't want to see him let off the gas going into this. This Rep comes up with another. That's the only person to score for Robert Morris University so far in this series. Ethan trying to get it down to him here. Has to get past someplace first. Does it, but the backboard pass won't work. Nicely handled, and back into the blue net it goes, or at least in front of the blue net. Either trying to get out of there. Oh, look at that move from Jakob. Oh, the aerial control is so nice.
If you get a double touch. Yeah, they're finding some really nice challenges in general on RIT over here. That's the pressure, the problems that RMU has been facing. Once they finally find something, they just can't get it to work, and that's in pressure to RIT. And that one looks nice, but goes off the crossbar. Again, these shots from RMU are getting so close, but they've had so many crossbar hits so far in this one. And it's just unfortunate as they look to try and combat and come back in this second game here. Do not want to lose this series, of course. They want to maintain their undefeated record. right now that'll be pretty helpful as Rep gets a little tap in from the other team and brings it back within 1.
With 63 seconds to go. Off of a crazy corner pinch. All right, you take those. I gotta say, though, RIT are so good after the first touch, where any lesser team are giving up some of these goals. They do such a good job of either making sure the clear falls in safe spots or having another man on the defense to cover whoever is attacking the rebound. It is so difficult to open up this defense. Yeah, that bump has led to this beautiful attack. Woo! Jakob almost had that one in. Misjudged just by a frame or two.
There's still hope.
Out of boost. Yeah, there's definitely still hope. There's 40 seconds left, and Ethan's driving in.
Yeah, there's still a decent chance here. RMU just have to find that overcommit, and they do find it just there in midfield. So Rep scores his 3rd goal on 7 shots this game, by the way. So RMU have kept to their game plan so far, continuing to pile up the shots, and now, thankfully, back at equal playing field here as they find a tied game up against RIT.
This is exactly what I was worried about. RIT kind of letting off the gas a little bit. I'm not quite sure where that one broke down, but it seemed like both the other players from RIT were out of position. And then the challenge went in the middle. Look at this. Robert Morris are on the stack again. The Colonials looking to take the lead. That shot's going to go off the near post. Rep with the follow-up also sent awry. Jacob trying to sneak it past. One last chance here for a goal before it ends, and Jacob finds it. Jakob finds it. I don't believe it. How did he squeak that one through?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate as they just gave him a lot of time, so he's able to perfectly angle that one and get that one off the crossbar and in with 6 seconds left. RMU finally found some hope back in this series and immediately was shut down by Jakob again. And right now he's just going to keep possession of the ball with control, and with 1 second left, dribble this to the other side. And this could just mark the end with zeros on the clock, and it will, as Sebward scores the 5th goal for RIT to win their 2nd game and move toward a completionist 3-0 once again. If they can do it, RIT will still be undefeated without dropping a game throughout 6 entire series.
My goodness, heartbreaking for Colonials fans out there. Now they've got to try to reverse sweep if they want to keep their own streak undefeated. And then they were coming back so strong in that. Yeah, we're looking at 14-6 in shots.
I mean, that's painful.
That's quite a difference. It's quite a difference. Well, more than double. And yet it's just, I mean, really one quick shot coming in from Jakob. That was the difference maker. I mean, yeah, the final shot, we'll just kind of omit that. I mean, technically, in my mind, that was a 4-3. Right. A 5-3, I think, gives too much of a difference because that game was extremely close. And Robert Morris came fighting back hard.
Yeah, and it's so unfortunate through 2 games. They've almost doubled the opponents twice in shots, like both games almost, that they've just absolutely been hammering down on offense, but just can't find the conversions because they either get really unlucky and keep hitting the crossbars or just can't get past the defensive front from RIT. As Rep overcommits with a chance, but even a great recovery from Rep actually keeps this one back towards midfield with a chance for a shot on goal. That was an impressive recovery for what could have been a goal against RMU because Rep did commit with his teammate and made them both out of placement. So if that touch from Rep doesn't go through, RMU starts this game down with a disadvantage once again. Ethan just getting off the crossbar. They just can't seem to get away from the magnet that is the orange crossbar so far in this series.
Good rotation. Ethan able to make another port save. Rep not having to get involved in that one. Rep single-handedly trying to carry this team across into a dub. Nice little pass there, but Skippy goes too high. Can't find the double.
What a shot.
There's a shot. Holy cow. That pass coming in from Rep out of the corner. Look at this. Boom. That one there. And Ethan able to find the angle. Dead center. Nice start.
The first time Robert Morris has had a lead through 3 games. So this is even more important for the lads on RMU to have a chance to come back in this series to get a Game 3 lead to start is a very nice place to be at. As we know, they'll continue to put on that offensive pressure. It's just up to RIT to try and answer back now at this point as Sebward looks at midfield to try and stop the oncoming traffic from RMU's attack. Rep dealing with this nicely, but out of boost, just trying to get this ball back to center, trying to keep RIT boost starved as well. Another very key thing that both teams will be trying to do is take those mid boosts, try and starve each other and get those shots to just go in top bins like we've seen so far. And Ethan, just with perfect positioning, again, finds a deflection off of one of the RIT players and just an easy shot on net.
Oh, Jakob just does not make good contact on that. Was looking for a clear. Perhaps started looking downfield and kind of took their eye off the ball, but it lands just in the perfect spot. And Ethan is right there to capitalize. Does not miss. Does not squander that one away. The first time it's a 2-0 lead for Robert Morris. Somebody's looking to cut that in half. Or excuse me, trying to rob him of another. Get my head straight again.
Now we get to see for the first time how our RIT plays behind. We have yet to see it, I'm sure they've yet to see it the entire season so far. Now they're down 3, so Ethan puts 3 out of 4 shots into the back of the net. And now this is a testament to RIT. Can they come back? Because they're so used to winning so much, RMU has been putting on the pressure. This is the game they finally flipped the switch. They finally turned those shots straight into goals. Ethan, who was a bit quiet in game number 2, now finds 3 straight in game number 3 and makes it seem possible for RMU to come back in this series, and now puts RIT at a deficit that they're definitely not used to playing at so far from what we've seen at least. So now we'll have to see if RMU can just maintain calm and composed and keep it together to keep this game in their belt and move on to game 4 potentially with a chance back in this series.
Blitz over to Jakob. Sebword gets denied. All 3 players having 0 luck trying to penetrate through the stalwart defense. That is Robert Morris at the moment. Sebword going up high over to Jakob. That one's going to make it under. And there goes the goose egg. RIT looking to bring it back.
One back, and obviously still plenty of time left. This is something that I've noticed from RIT, though. They've been trying to set up these passing plays this game especially, so that's something RMU has to be careful about, because from what I've seen so far on a couple of these defenses from RMUs, they've double committed a couple of times, and overcommitting against a great team, they will easily just find a pass over to one of their teammates and get that straight into the back of the net. So as you can see right now, another passing play being created, and that almost leads straight to the back of the net. I think there's still a chance here, but Rep in a good spot to stop that extra chance from Sebword. You can now see what RIT is trying to do here a little bit. They're starting to open up the field, starting to create RMU to leave gaps in their defense and overcommit a bit. And now you're starting to see maybe RMU panic, even with the 2-goal lead.
We're putting the pressure on right now. No reason for panic at the moment. Could change in a heartbeat though, but Rep maintains control. And a nice, solid amount of time here in the orange half just to deny RIT any opportunities for chances. Ethan going back down, trying to shot to the corner. The ball bounces out, and Sunblade is not able to get a solid clear on it. Jakob gets demoed, and Skippy walks away with control. Sebword has to step in, finally able to muscle that ball out of there. Sunblade comes through, puts it up high. Good defense. Skippy's going to sit it wide. Ethan does get demoed in the process, and Jakob's trying to take advantage of the momentary lapse. Puts it up high. Sebword has no boost to follow up on that. RIT searching for answers here. So far, there's none to be found on that attack. And we're trying to keep it in. Ethan's going to challenge him up above. Sebword's able to find Jakob on the side. He's going to bounce it up off the wall. Has to get out there a little earlier than they might like, but the pass is still good downfield. But RIT not able to collapse upon it, not able to convert into anything so far in the past minute.
Yeah, that's a problem so far for RIT this game. They are trying to keep something going, but they are just not being able to really get out of their side of the field for a majority of this game. Now we finally see them put a little bit of pressure back towards RMU. Great bump by Sunblaze to open up the scoring chance a little bit here, but a double commit out of RIT leaves them empty-handed in the backfield, so they do have to be careful about that. But at this point, with 30 seconds left, they're just trying to score, and a double demo comes through, but they can't
Jakob trying
score.
to follow up. No. Jakob gets denied. It's beautiful defensive rotations. Robert Morris able to always get in the way, and then a little look doesn't hurt, especially when you've got the post on your side for the first time here for Robert Morris. Oh,
That's
there it
not good.
is. Sunblaze finally. The defense collapses after shot, just barrage onto this net. You can feel it coming, but I will say the defense of Robert Morris held out for about 2 minutes and have left RIT in a one last chance scenario here in game 3.
And just a little bit of awkward teammate contact at the back of the backboard there for RMU. Hopefully doesn't mean they lead a chance into overtime, as RIT does have a chance here. Sebword just going to hit that one straight down with the pair of Ethan, and RMU find a way back through game 3 to get them back into the series, and obviously take that important mark off of RIT is that they are no longer through 6 series winning every single game. They finally have a game taken off of them. And I still think RMU could take another one, maybe 2. Maybe the RMU can find a way into back in the series. You see, this time around, RMU had much less shots, 6 shots in total, but they still ended up winning the game. So who knows? Maybe the team with the least shots ends up scoring the most goals.
That's been the story so far.
Yeah,
that has checked out for all 3 of our games so far. But I mean, big story here: RIT are mortal. They can bleed. Robert Morris has just shown us that for the first time here in Starleague, at least for spring 2022. This has been a team that has been red hot and well, finally got cooled off a little bit. What a game! What a game! Coming out of Ethan, getting the hat trick. And that lead held throughout the entire rest of game 3. And now Robert Morris have one of those nice little ticks in the top left-hand corner. And that's a dub. 1 of 3 that they'll need if they want to take the series.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can start off this game with a lead, because that's what helped propel them into a win in game number 3. Desperately need that one to go for them in game 4. But that is not going to be the case, as Jakub just sends that all the way to the top left, and RIT once again start out with the entering goal into the game. And seems to be a lot of the time Jakub is in very, very good positions to score these goals, and especially early on in the game seems to be a key component in RIT's offense.
Absolutely. That's 7 on the day by my tally for Jakub in this series. Not bad.
Oh,
dangerous ball! Oh, the attempt to get it out of there ends up just putting it into their own net. And boy, can you miss it. Suddenly, we're back to the tie game.
We'll see what...
Jakub, we were bragging about you, and you had to go and do that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like, yeah, what a play. Great work. He scored all the goals, and he continues to score goals also for RMU. He wants to lead it both ways. He felt bad about just constantly scoring on them.
So I put another tick in the Jakub column for a goal for that one?
I think so. Yeah, I think that maybe he just wants to pad his stats.
Yeah, that's it. Well, there he's going again.
About to add another
Skippy
one.
able to get in front of that one. Almost did. Holy cow, it was close.
And there's still a
Not
lot
for
of
Skippy, but there it is. Finally comes through, and it's the demo of Skippy. You had to get Skippy out of there before Jakub could get another goal.
An unbelievable point, and what was pointed out, a hat trick for Jakub in a minute time. Whether it's on one side or the other, it is a hat trick nonetheless for Jakub in game number 4 so far. And like you had mentioned, already 6 or 7 goals before this game. So quite an impressive feat so far for the player for RIT, as we don't see any stops though from RMU. They do want to come back and try and win this series, but they're still facing a lot of offensive pressure from RIT, and of course Jakub is up in the air right now that they have to worry about.
Yeah, that's 9 on the day for Jakub if you're counting the one that was in the blue column, but there you go. Proper goal. This one coming out of Rep, who stepped up in a big way in game 2 and what was nearly a comeback there. Just a textbook double tap. Fundamental good stuff.
Yeah, not anything too bad there, and it just maybe a lack of rotations on the side of RIT, like you maybe said in game 4, feeling a little bit comfortable, or game 3. RIT feeling a bit comfortable, leading back a little bit. They're playing a little bit more loose, which is totally fine, and obviously still working out in their favor, but it is going to lead RMU to some much more open chances and give them a bit more field control and boost control. So that's something that RMU is going to try and take advantage of consistently going out of game 3. Now trying to keep that series in their grasp, and Skippy not able to do anything with the ball. So that's a decent amount of boost to work with if Rep can get this back down to the other side of the field. But once again, who it is, just Jakub just constantly there for challenges. Did not let RMU get this outside of their side of the field, and they're going to eventually boost starve RMU with how long they've been over here.
Yeah, they have free reign of the map, of the pitch, which is including all the boosts within it. And it's RMU struggling to get out of their own box at the moment. Jakub continuing to put this pressure on. They've always got to be worried about that. Do try to quick convert. Find the one weakness to this very aggressive plan coming out of RIT. Not finding any success on it that time.
Oh, backward challenge from Ethan. Impressive. Keeping him alive, just barely. As we still have plenty of time in this game. I feel like this game has had a lot of action. It's only been just about over half time now. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this one. game number 4. RIT 2-1 in the series of this best of 5, looking to close out this series now. Of course, need that extra go-ahead goal that they're looking to see if Jakob can score once again.
Ooh, good pass. All 3 players from RMU had kind of stuck in a bad spot there for a moment, but it was enough. Finally, it breaks down. Subward saw the flaws in the design and just started poking holes at it. Oh, look at that thread. Oh, man. Rep was just slightly off course. Great read and a good lead coming out from RIT.
Parted the blue sea there and able to just slide that one right past. And not any convincing fashion, but it is a go-ahead goal for RIT nonetheless. It doesn't matter how the goal is scored as long as you have that extra goal here. Now RIT can play a little bit more relaxed, knowing that they have this extra goal capability. You know, you obviously don't want to give up that extra goal and put this potentially into overtime, but it gives them the chance to maybe make a mistake or two here as Jakob finds a nice clearance there. And with the assistance of a player on RMU, is going to force a double commit out of them once again. And like I had mentioned earlier in this game and in last game, we've seen a lot of that from RMU so far. So I would say they're rather lucky to not have been punished on a few of those so far throughout this series.
Now they're looking to do the punishing as the Colonials are on the attack. Ethan's going to try to just prop it up. Somebody else to slam home. Blaze sends it wide for the moment, but Rep is able to get one more challenge in. Finally, Jakob takes out to midfield. There it is. Ethan trying to pull it in. It's these dribbles right up to the net, just trying to force a play on net. Look for a rebound. Oh, a lot of pressure, but RIT withstood. Crazy touch there. Goes right at the blue goal. Or excuse me, right at the RIT goal. There's the follow-up shot that heads the other way. A bit of ping-pong at midfield. RIT just burning down the clock at this point.
Great challenge coming out from Ethan. Skippy, unfortunately, on that last drive, couldn't make it into the back of the net, even with a decent chance of getting that one going. So Skippy's going to try and recover this time around. Good demo onto Ethan. Stops the pressure from RMU. So that was the player waiting for that pass from Skippy. Now RIT immediately flipped the coin to bring it back to the other side. Good challenge coming out from RMU is going to give them a chance with a miss as well. Doesn't lead to anything but 15 seconds on the clock.
Skippy was trying to make something of it. Can't blame him for it. Got to commit hard in these final seconds, down by 1. Oh, Assembly's just going to spike it down into the ground. Skippy's able to get up the wall. Might be a chance. No, the touch up on the wall coming out of RIT will seal the deal. And they move on to 6-0, but it wasn't without some loss. It was game 3 going to Robert Morris University, the only team to take a single game off of RIT all season. So a little beacon of hope from them, but in the end, they do fall to 2nd place, and RIT remain undefeated at the top of the pack.
And that is now 4 straight games with the team with the least shots winning the game. So maybe something interesting to look at there throughout this series, because, I mean, we saw both teams put on some quite offensive performances, but, you know, with the most shots could not get those to go in, which is surprising because in most scenarios, having the most shots leads to a lot more goal chances. So usually you have a chance to score more goals than the other team. But this time around, it does not work out for RMU. But like you mentioned, they do at least take a game off of RIT, which hasn't been done before this season, and realistically could have taken the series in any other sense because of how close those games were. Obviously, game 1, a little bit different of a scoreline, ended up being 1-4. It was about 1-3 until that extra goal at the end. So even then, still a 2-goal limit is where they really were at, about 1 goal each game besides that. So RMU definitely still heads up high after that game, even though they lose 3-1 overall. I think they still played great, still had a great series, and just RIT had the better chances and were able to convert on them this time around. All that's happened, and alongside Hero Nathan, we recognize the LLS Hero of the Game as the player that made the biggest impact in the match played. Whether it was a clutch play, a sacrifice, or provided strong leadership when it mattered most, today's LLS Hero of the Game is, I think you can consider probably Jakob that one, as incredible performances so far, over 10 goals through 4 games, and it's just an incredible performance in general.
Yep, I think we're actually going to get Sebward in here for our interview. It was a tough call. As far as who to name on this one, everybody had
all 3 of them
impacts. Yeah, all three players are fantastic. Indeed, we got Sebward in from RIT. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So it got a little close. I think it got a little closer than y'all might be used to here in Star League in that one. Did y'all start to sweat a little bit, or was it all confidence all the way?
Yeah, definitely. We have to have a lot of confidence going into this. But starting out, we started out pretty cleanly, and we kind of let our guard down a little bit. And they definitely caught us off guard. They did a good job with that. We reset, and we were, able to get that confidence back and take the series.
Yeah, no, a funny stat we were talking about is the team with the least shots ended up winning every single game in that series. That's obviously not a huge proponing factor in Rocket League normally, but you guys seem to have a lot of chances. Even when you didn't have, you were still able to convert. Did you think as a team you played just better than RMU today? And we saw a lot of teamwork and a lot of team goals come out from you guys.
Yeah. A lot of our plan is not just going for those straight pot shots, right? A lot of, even though we, have small amounts of shots, they're at least quality, right? They're not just hitting the net constantly and constantly and constantly. Um, so I think just that, the team play really helped us out there. So even though we didn't have as much pressure as them, we were still able to put in more shots or more goals.
Yeah, so I mean, you attribute that to be part of your style, part of the style of your squad, and how you approach your offense kind of leads to lower shot totals, but yet still a lot of dubs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely our strategy, is mainly team-based rather than just having, even though we have phenomenal skill, Mike is a great dribbler and one's player, and Jakob is great in the air. Having those team plays is bringing us a lot of success.
Now, I want to talk a minute just about the comms. Do y'all have a single person, like who's the captain? Is there some person that makes all the shots, or is it a very, like, everybody kind of gives their input and works together as far as comms and planning out your approach?
Yeah, so most of the time I am giving like a lot of the main comms or strats or whatever, but we need to have comms from everyone. Just making sure everyone's always involved, always talking, and that just always helps the team, and we can all just understand each other's thought processes and whatnot. So as long as everyone's talking, we're doing well as a team.
Awesome. Awesome. We certainly did well today.
Thank you.
George, you have one more question before we let someone get out of here?
No, I'm all cleaned up. Obviously, a huge 6-0 from them, so incredible showing so far, and look forward to the rest of the season. You guys trying to stay undefeated, so good luck in that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Congrats once again.
Thank you.
All right, that was Sebword from RIT. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk to our players and kind of get that little bit of insight. One of my favorite parts of the job. One of my favorite parts of the job.
Yeah.
But well, that's going to do it for our first match of the day. But we still have plenty more at you. We're going to take a short break, get set up for our next one. We're going to have Virginia Wesleyan taking on Milligan University. We return with more Starleague.